clutch. It's so stupid. Today, I'm gonna try to break in my personal EVO 9. I got the short block back from California, from Arlington Machine. They do a few of their tricks. It's got Kelly's crank, Kelly's rod, mini piston, 1/2-inch studs. It's got 2 JZ L19 main studs in it, head gains head, GSCS 3s, Kegley springs, prayer valve, a lot of fuel, a lot of ethanol, and the Zona 10569S. I'm just gonna break it in. I'm not gonna go crazy for power.
So it's just a bolt. It's just bolt-ons.
Just bolt-on, full bolt-on car. Nothing crazy. Get the sequential setup working correctly, and pretty much just going through it. Make sure it's ready to go, and then I'll drive it a little bit more and put a little bit better oil in it, and then I'll probably turn it up 50, 60 pounds. So we'll see. It's exciting. I put this together in 2 days, so it was a long 2 days. I have a Haltech Elite 2500 in it. I got the IO expander for added. I got coolant pressure, crankcase pressure, fuel pressure, wide band controller. I got can touchpad. Saw Haltech stuff. Got their coils. They work really well. They have a ton of power over the R35 stuff that a lot of people use on these cars, like double, so you can run a nice big plug gap, so drivability is good, and then you won't have spark blowout and boost. The goal today is just to pretty much, I'm breaking it in on the dyno.
So we're not going to see like its full numbers today, just...
Nah, I'm just going to break it in, check the oil, get an oil analysis, make sure everything's good, get some miles on the street, and then once everything, little bugs or anything is sorted, I'll turn it up, hopefully soon.
How's it doing so far?
Good. You can just like tell it's breaking in. You can just get a feel for it. It's pulling a little bit more vacuum. Oil's not so wonked out. It's starting to like smooth out. It's just the rings is seating. Just everything, getting up to temp and like coming down a little bit. It'll, it all starts meshing as well. Starts to run a little bit better. So that's a good sign. A little bit of coolant.
Is that like a vented overflow?
Yeah, so what we made is that this is like half catch can, half overflow. And we made this in-house, and this catch can actually has a venturi into the downpipe of the exhaust. So it pulls crankcase vacuum. Instead of just having the, just the catch can, pulls vacuum even with the filter. You're still supposed to filter it, but it'll pull a little bit of, you want a little bit of crankcase vacuum. Actually more the better, honestly. Helps with power. Something happened to the clutch. The throttle bearing popped out. The ring also like popped off the draw bearing when it puts on. Like on the clutch, where the stupid hydraulic, where the draw bearing like puts in, like fell off. How they had like the gaming ring? Yeah. So we had a little mishap on the dyno. Luckily it was something simple as hell like this. I did like a partial pull. My foot wasn't on the clutch at all, but I just wanted to do a partial pull to not do full tilt and just kind of ease into it. And then I did that partial pull, made like 400 and something. And I looked down and then the clutch pedal's to the floor. And I was like, oh nice. I immediately thought like, oh, the throwout bearing popped out. So basically in your clutch, your throwout bearing comes into this ring and it catches on this little dinky ring. And this is what pulls the pressure plate fingers out, so it disengages the clutch so the clutch plates aren't, tight. It'll pull the pressure off those plates, and it's just held by the throwout bearing on this little dinky ring. This was like bent. This little ring was like bent out, and it must have fell out of those small little tabs like that, and basically the throwout bearing like popped out, and then the clutch went to the floor because it was all the way back. We tried messing with it, tried getting it hooked up just with the inspection holes through the bell housing. No. So ended up pulling the trans, overnight an ACT monolock. And what an ACT monolock basically is, it's this whole piece, and then it's this one billet piece with like this ring integrated to the edge of it. And you basically tap that through your pressure plate. These springs are just like return springs against the pressure plate. Your throwout bearing will lock in on a billet one piece ring that ACT provides with their monolock. Well, it's just like one whole billet piece. Pop that in, pop the clutch on. It's a lot more firm than what it was with this because this, jank. It's kind of a design, honestly. That's why a lot of people go to push style or hydraulic throwout bearings, which basically push in on the fingers to disengage the clutch, whereas this style, pull style, pulls the fingers out to disengage the clutch. And there's a tremendous amount of force on this little baby ring. Got the trans pulled out off of this stupid little thing. Got the ACT monolock in on the pressure plate, retorqued it, got it all back together. It's ready to break. More shit. We'll see what the next thing is. Next, I'm gonna swap out the plugs. I just had garbage factory heat range plugs in it just to break it in, check them over. I'm gonna put good plugs in it that are 2 steps colder. I gotta retorque head studs because these are a Boostin 1/2 inch L19 stud, and they require to be retorqued to 105 or 110 foot-pounds after like 5 heat cycles. So by this point I already heat cycled it 5 times. Retorqued studs, put synthetic in it, or I'll probably do a little bit more runs on the dyno with the conventional in it. Cut the filter open, make sure we don't got any big pieces of material in it, and then if all looks good, I'll move the synthetic, retorque studs, fresh plugs, gap them down, and then it's time to go full tilt.
What do you think it's gonna end up being, if you had to guess?
I don't know. I want to enjoy this car this year, so I don't think I'm gonna go too crazy with it. I'll probably make one big hit on the dyno, try to break that 4-digit number. It did before, but usually on the street, usually I leave it between 700 and 800 horsepower. It's plenty of power, but I'd love to make 1,000 again on the dyno. It'd be about bottoming out the map sensor. The map sensor only reads to about 58 pounds of boost. So right around 55, she should throw down 4 digits with this. I got a Zona 10569S. I'd like to try their new. They have a new 7169, pretty much just updated. This is an awesome turbo. I'm gonna also take cause the entire pretty much catback is 3-inch. My downpipe is 3.5, and it kind of knocks down a 3-inch and then full straight through. I'm honestly just gonna do, because I don't drive the hell out of this car, I'm just gonna do a 3.5-inch dump. I'm gonna make a few pulls with the full exhaust on and then make that 3.5-inch dump. So it dumps about like, I don't know, I'd say right after the engine, or like a little bit farther past. See if that picks up. It should pick up quite a bit. I think the 3-inch catback is kind of restricting a setup like this. I just want to get the sequential, want to get it shifting really well, really fast. Like I said, on the street at 700-800 horsepower with sequential is like, it makes it like a DCT car where it just shifts instantaneously and you're just in the power band each shift. I will be using ACT from here on out on anything like this because it's pain in the ass to pop these trannies out compared to like a Subaru, which takes like an hour. You have a transfer case, you just got a lot more going on in a lot smaller space, so it's not fun to do. So I'd rather not pull the trans again. Yeah, if you have a high horsepower EVO, either stock ECU, Motec, Haltech, I can do any of them. So, from 300 horsepower to 1,000. I've grown anywhere in between that power level, especially with the EVO platform. So I'm very familiar with what these engines like and how they work. Yeah, if you got anything Haltech, got anything big power stock ECU wise, we have you covered here. So we got one of the best dynos.
We'll get it ripping.
We'll get it ripping.